And what's even funnier about it is that he's the one pitching to him, and then he fouls it and hits his window.
You see, he drove his beater truck the next day.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got the paint off the side of it and
yeah, it's
everything. It
like
was
falling
hilarious.
apart and shit. Yeah, with some
That's
clearly like
hilarious.
just janky rims that he bought when he was like 16.
It's too funny.
Oh man, yeah, that's funny though. Yeah, I saw that and I couldn't believe it. Like, what are the odds?
But yeah, no, spring training's here. It's ready to go, dude. I'm fucking hyped for baseball.
Yeah, I am too. This is the most I've been hyped in a long time for baseball.
What's his name got hurt already though? Was it McLean or whatever his name is?
Oh, did
Yeah.
he?
Oh yeah, the he strained his oblique, but not the same oblique from last year. So the other oblique, I guess. I don't know how many you have. Two, probably.
I assume too, but I don't know either.
Because I think that's just like the side of your body. I'm not a medical expert, but I'm pretty sure oblique's just like
Yeah.
around the ribs, like I don't know. But either way, he strained the other side, so he's already hurt. So that's not great signs for him being maybe he's an injury prone fellow. So because I know we were
Well,
supposed to get it back for the playoff run last year and he never made it. He couldn't get over it. So,
yeah.
but
Hopefully, with it being so early in the season, aka the season hasn't even started yet, we're in spring training. That
yeah, it's just worrisome because it's like the same injury, but the other side, and
yeah,
he was out for like 4 months last year. So
yeah, that's the bad thing is what you're saying, where he had the same injury last year, granted different oblique, but still, it's like
yeah,
some of these guys are injury prone.
I saw the question pinned it on the internet. Does it make you feel worse that it's the different side, or does it make you feel better that it's a different side? Like, would you rather, if you had to get hurt, would you rather it just been a re-injury of the same side or the new medical issue, basically?
I think I would rather have him just re-injure the old one because then I can see it as maybe it wasn't fully healed or it was
That
weaker.
that's the way I was looking at it. I feel like it's like, you know, just not a good sign.
Yeah, because I feel like if it's the other one, now he's just weak, like weaker on both sides, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They
And
they said I think it happens from his batting practice because he goes all in. Like,
yeah,
and in batting practice, you're getting that rapid fire. It's not like when you're at bat and you kind of step away for a second and go back in, and it's the
yeah,
rapid fire. He's just going all in. And basically they told him to calm the hell down when you're in batting practice. Like stop that, stop getting injured that way. So, but and on another breaking news, the field. First off, let me say about the Bengals field. I thought it was always field turf. Apparently, I was wrong. It was called some sort of slit film turf is what we used to have. I didn't know that. Never heard that word in my life. Am I
yeah.
the only one here? I thought we were on field turf. So
I thought we were on turf.
Yeah, that's I thought it was field turf, but
yeah,
I know there's different like brands, if you will, or styles. I guess I don't know. It's
yeah. And I don't know if it's just a brand thing or if I don't know.
yeah, me neither. But like seeing the actual field itself, to me, that if you ask me, that's what we thought it was, field turf.
Yeah, I'd always called it that. I thought that's what they called it when they first put it in when they built the stadium, but maybe
Yeah,
they had switched away from that at some point. I don't know.
and like you're saying, kind of with brands, maybe it's a brand thing or a type. I don't know
Yeah,
either.
I don't have an update on that, but I was just kind of like, oh, I thought that's what we had because I thought it was gonna be like we're going to real grass or something wild, like or some
Yeah,
new shit altogether. And I was like, oh, well, that's not that breaking of news to me. Like,
yeah, and I wonder if we'll even really notice a difference, like as fans, right?
yeah, I mean, I'm sure the players might, and it might be like just newer. Like, I mean, everything progresses, right? Like when field turf first came out in whatever 1990 something, you know, I'm sure it's better now 20 some years later than it was when it first came out, or I would hope.
Yeah,
So, you know,
yeah,
so
yeah. I feel
maybe
like
it's
with
just that.
how technology intercedes with sports and medicine, like they come up with these like football helmets, for example. Helmets are way better, and I'm sure they're still working on research to make it even better. I think the same with turf, right? They're trying to prevent these leg injuries and
Yeah.
not.
So
Mark's waving at someone. I was kidding. I call him out.
that's his recording in progress. Get the hell out of the room.
Yeah, get out of
Yes,
here.
yes,
Go.
it is.
And then one other breaking news from the NBA I can bring up is your boy LeBron is breaking more records in the wrong way. He's the
Uh-oh.
first NBA player to lose 10 All-Star games.
Oh.
So, goat my ass.
Dude, I don't. The NBA All-Star game was weird.
It
Like,
was, yeah.
it's
I didn't
just
watch any of it.
oh,
I haven't.
it's
Yeah.
like you have a small glimpse of hope that, they'll go like how it used to be played, where I mean when Kobe and them were playing, like it was super close game. Like I saw highlights of when I forget what year it was, but like Kobe and Stephon Marbury, that's how long ago it was, Stephon
No.
Marbury. But just like them just going back and forth for like a minute and a half, just going right at each other. And it was like a 2 point game. Now they're up. Now they scored 345 points together, which is
No.
just stupid. Like that, if you're not give it some relevancy or just do what the NFL is doing and just put a flag football game together. If you do like a 3-on-3 contest or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
my thing is back in the day, I think it was might have been scheduling too, but it just seemed like they cared more. Like when Kobe was against Jordan, like I don't know if that was like the first time that season they were up against each other because I don't remember what the schedules were like back then. But I feel like a lot of times it could have been that scenario where you hadn't played them yet for the year, so they had that that luster. Plus, they were just uber competitive, so they both wanted to be the best.
yeah,
You know, and even and I'll even give it even some of the '90s All Star games, like the first half was kind of a joke outside of
yeah,
maybe like Kobe Jordan, but then when it came to the halfway through the third quarter, it's like, all right, time to get real and see who's going to win this shit.
yeah. I can say usually definitely the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah,
And to go to Mark's point, I brought up the score. The final score of this year's was 211 to 186. Now, the thing I did like is they went back to the East-West format.
Mm.
yeah,
I do prefer that. And I did watch some of the All-Star game, not much, but like I watched a little bit of the beginning, and it was basically like a 3-point contest. They would pass the ball down, barely play any defense. They would shoot up the three, swoosh. I mean, these guys are the best of the best too, right? And then we hardly have any defense on them. It's easy to drain these threes. So it got boring.
kind of
Right.
reflects like today's game too, though. Like there's less driving to the hoop, and it's more of a 3-point contest. But at least during the regular season, there's more defense, a little more, like
Yeah,
so.
What I
yeah,
took from that
yeah,
game was Damian Lillard doesn't have a range. His range is basically the entire basketball court.
yeah.
They were just pulling up from beyond the half court line, just shooting just a traditional 3 jump shot and just nothing but net, which is
Yeah.
just
And
absurd.
the thing that's crazy to me about him is that was his first All Star game that he started in.
That's wild.
Yeah, because I mean, Dame's always been legit. And he's played for a lot of bad teams in Portland there.
I don't know if there's something they've done. I know they've done in the past. I don't know if they're doing it this year because I don't keep up with like the skills competition and dunk contests and all that shit either, to be honest. But I wouldn't mind seeing like Dame versus Steph just playing horse, like seeing
That'd be cool.
what ridiculous shots they can make because they're both probably the top two shooters, ever in the league. And, you can just shoot from, like I'd like to see them. It'd be, less obnoxious if it's a horse type game where they're shooting from full court or shit like that.
Yeah, I would
They
like
were
that.
So,
they're already talking next year because Steph played against, I can't think of her name, that
Sabrina
yeah,
Ionescu.
yeah,
destroy her
from the
hopes and
W,
dreams.
that they're gonna do Steph versus Dame and then 2 other WNBA players. So it'd be Steph and her and then Dame and the other one going to get to, which would be pretty interesting. I don't know
Yeah,
if the All-Star game could go into the format that the Rising Stars does now, because it looks like they did like or the year before they did like a 4, they spaced them out in groups of 4. So like it was like Team Paul Gasol and like 4 other NBA players. And they had their own team, and I think they played to like 24, 25. And then those two played. So I mean you could take those and then essentially play a half, basically, just keep it a little more interesting than the
You know,
shit
I
show
think
watch.
well, the way you say that, you know what I think would be cool is since they have a whole weekend, they do like a little mini tournament, almost like instead of doing the in-season tournament and making it real, they should have done that during the All-Star game to a certain extent. Like,
Mhm.
like a 3-on-3, like we did in high school or middle school 3-on-3 style tournament.
Yeah.
And you just pick your, buddy up or however you do it, pick out of a hat. I don't care how you do, form the teams, but kind of like a little mini tournament, and
Yeah.
start that on like Friday, have the like semis on Saturday, and then the finals on Sunday or something. Unless you want to do them the rest on Sunday, however you want to form it out. But like some sort of little mini tournament, I think would be cool, almost rather than just watching them get 300 points.
Yeah.
You still get your all stars, and you still get probably good matchups. And then it might be a little more competitive because there is a tournament kind of maybe not, but I just feel like players get up for tournaments and stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, and with that, like I always felt like me personally, the NBA All-Star was always the best one of the major sports. But it's just
yeah,
now got to the point, like we already hit on, that there's even less defense. And I don't know, like I'm more like it's almost like the player intros are more exciting than the game itself. And the stuff around the game is more exciting.
Mhm.
yeah,
I did check in a little bit to the 3-point contest and a little bit of the slam dunk contest. Um, I will say, I think one of the hard things with the slam dunk contest, I was telling someone the other day, is it's been going on for so long. It's like, how do you come up with something that's new that just like
yeah.
shocks people? Like it seems like we've seen it all. I don't know.
You can only physically do so much, like
Right,
there's only even the best athletes have a physical limitation at some point. I think the
right.
3-point contest is probably the most genuine competition still
Mhm.
because even though you have a Steph, there's still someone that eventually will be better. Like you can always hit more shots.
That's the more
So
exciting one to me.
yeah, it's just more fair in general. Like, it's hard to say Steph would have an off night, but he could, like,
Hmm.
someone like Dame could beat him, you never know. So it's just more genuinely like exciting for me.
It loses its I think the slam dunk contest lost its prestige kind of. You don't have those, you don't want to, I mean, give credit to where credit to Max McClung is
Yeah.
slam dunk contest champion back to back, but I mean, you
He
don't
doesn't
have
play.
those all stars that
You
you
don't have
had
the
back.
yeah.
Like you don't have
LeBron
the
LeBron's
CJs.
like never done it right,
Yeah,
something like
he
that.
never done
So
it. People are blaming him for the ruining of the slam
yeah,
dunk contest.
I agree. He's ruined the entire league in my opinion. But
But I don't know. Something's got to change because looking at the slam dunk contest, it was like basically who could jump over the most people
Yeah.
for the dunks the entire
yeah.
time. Right,
That
you
was
have
cool the first time I seen it, but it's a.
now it's getting ridiculous. So I don't. You could. There are professional dunkers that go around the country just doing different dunks that are pretty wild. So could you bring them in to get a little bit interesting to go against
Yeah. Or go
some
to a
of
12-foot rim, maybe.
yeah, something to get a little more acclimated because to go back to the All-Star game, it just looked like the players didn't want to be there. From
Yeah.
what I gathered from it, just watching the game a little bit, it's just like,
Well, I think the young generation doesn't care about it as much either.
yeah,
They want the accolades. They want the I'm an all-star, but they don't really want to go do it. Plus, it's like, I mean, it's nice that it's in random cities, but like I kind of look at it like the Pro Bowl. I still miss the Pro Bowl being after the Super Bowl because then you get the most participants. Plus, like I miss it being in Hawaii, and I know there was something to do with their stadium or something, but I feel like I already see them play in Miami. I don't want to watch that. I like the fact I don't know something about the even though I wasn't there, it just felt different because it's in a different, a non-football state, non-football city, and it's a place that I feel like players kind of like, oh, I'll go there. That's a cool vacation. I might not, pay to go there on my own, but they're going to send me and pay for me to go there. Where rather than half the league lives in Miami already, so
Yeah. And,
just kind of like
and they're
I
not
don't
wearing.
know,
They don't have the lays on and the
yeah.
shirts. Like it was the Pro Bowl.
And maybe
How
it's just because
we
I
covered
grew up with it that way, but it just seemed like there was more of a aura about it, more of a prestige kind of a something going on with it. Like even the other day I watched it was like the 1998 skills competition. It was on YouTube. I randomly ran into it randomly. They pops up. I was like, sure, I'll watch that. like it was just fun to watch. It was the quarterbacks, launching the ball, 100 yards or whatever the hell it was, and trying to hit the little
Yeah.
moving target shits and all that stuff. So,
I remember that.
yep.
I liked watching that back in the
One I
day.
watched, unfortunately, didn't know going in. Jim Harbaugh won the whole damn thing. Oh, I'm like, really? That's yeah. Thanks for popping up on that part of my YouTube.
The greatest quarterback of our generation.
Yeah, fucking Jim Harbaugh wins it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Mhm. What are the odds that you picked that one?
Yeah, I was like, God dang it. But it was, I missed those kind of days. So I think I saw some guys, I forget what show I was watching, but they said just get rid of the all-star games altogether across the board.
Yeah.
Like it's just to hell with it. None of them are all that great,
Yeah, because even baseballs was more intriguing when it meant something.
Mm-hmm.
With baseball, they were playing for home field advantage in the World Series for their league.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like make it mean something. Like that's the problem, right? Is none of these all-star games have any meaning towards their season.
Yeah. And it's also not the same when we didn't necessarily live in that era, but like the 60s, 70s, 80s, contracts weren't what they were. So like
Yeah.
they weren't buku rich, the equivalent of millionaires back then. Not all of them. Some were. Some, there's always been someone that's been pretty well off throughout all of baseball, but like the further you go back, the more they had real jobs plus being professional athletes.
Yep.
So
Yeah, you're
now, and
right.
I'm not, blaming the company, but you can't, basically what I'm getting at is you just can't financially motivate them, you know, by playing unless you start forming it in the contracts, but there's no way that they'll let that happen.
No.
Like there's already the incentives to become an all-star in contracts, but you can't say, hey, if you win so many all-star games or perform a certain way in an all-star. Plus, owners wouldn't really want that because they don't want their guys getting hurt. So,
Yeah, I understand that.
but
Especially with football. Like I get football. You can't football is just one of the sports you can't play. I mean, I get that.
yeah, it's too physical to have that.
Right. And these guys are worth $500 million now, some of them.
Yeah, so you don't want that, them hard hits because that you've seen in Pro Bowls and Pro Bowls in years past.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Downhill.
I don't know what the fix is, but I feel like something needs to happen. Or
Something's
they
got
need
to
to change
change.
it. What's that?
Well,
I was just saying something's got to change because you saw at the end of when Adam Silver was out there talking to the players and he was like, East, you guys scored more. You guys scored the most points. Congratulations. You just heard like the irritation in his voice.
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say one of the things that go back to the slam dunk contest, and Mark, you hit on it. I was talking to someone at work and they mentioned kind of what you're saying, like just open it up to anyone. So street ballers or maybe Brian Bay is secretly like a beast at dunking and he joins. Like just open it up to anyone and then you can have an all-star sponsor them. So
Well, it's
like
kind of like the thing you've seen for the Olympics. It was like just a joke meme or whatever, but it said, there should be one normal person in every event just to show the comparison, like
yeah,
show the difference. Like, dude won't even finish the race. Like, he won't even be like I wouldn't be a quarter through the race before they're all done. And I'm not even
right.
an average person. I'm out of shape. So, but if you're just talking about like at least an average in shape person,
Yeah, I think that'd be cool to see that.
like obviously not everyone can dunk, but if you can get someone that can dunk,
Yeah.
or a little bit like the 3-point contest. I mean, not so much now, but in my early 20s, I could hit some threes. I don't think I'd win or come close to it, but I could hit some threes.
Well, and we'll probably like if any of us did it realistically against NBA players, I can see 12 being the highest, and that's being like
Very
Yeah.
generous.
generous.
What if
Yeah.
you get that right guy though? That guy that's like he played JUCO, never made it past that. We can hit some, the Jeremy Lin effect, like kind of came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
like because Jeremy Lin before he was Jeremy Lin would have been a sneaky fucking one. Guy that played for Harvard, you're like, oh, that dude's probably not that good. He played D1, that's better than any of us, but like
Mhm.
Yeah.
comparatively speaking, something like that. Like then all of a sudden he just goes off. So could at least make for a good story.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it'd be interesting either way. Like you have a regular dude or just opening it up to even street ballers for the slam
Yeah.
dunk contest. They can probably come up with something creative that we haven't seen. I don't
Yeah.
know. I
But
but
it's
I think it's hard to come up with new ideas, and humans have their limits. So
yeah, and it might be just as simple as taking a few years off from it,
Yeah.
and bringing it back a little more organically, let people not see it for a generation or 10 years or something, half a generation,
right,
So,
and then bring it back and be like, look at this new idea we have.
I mean, that's what we do with everything else in the world, like all
That's
the,
true.
all the kids, the younger generations into like 80s shit now and 90s shit,
Mhm.
like we did that however many 30 years ago or whatever, and now they like it again. So it's
Well,
same
you
difference.
see that even with TV shows, like Night Court's
Yeah.
one that pops my head. Like I remember that when I was a kid, and now there's a new Night Court, and they have one. Well, they have one. They have Dan returning from it. I've seen in the commercials. Yeah, and then I've seen like at least cameos of other people that were in the original Night
Yeah.
Court. So like stuff like that, like even TV shows or movies they're getting recycled right now.
Oh yeah.
Did to go way off topic to a different, not different category in sport? Did you guys see it was a speed skating competition. I forget where it was. I think it was overseas. Um, and you know how they go like super slow the first couple laps. This chick from China just decided to say, screw it, sprinted out, did like 6 or 7. She was up like 5 laps ahead of everybody else. So she went around and was in last. The team people thought that she was in last place, and it was like the timer went off to let them know that it was like the last lap. So like they're all racing, 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 and by the time the girl got back around, she had already won, and no one knew
Ha!
I
because she was already ahead.
Just
And
went
then her
ham.
teammate uh figured it out because she was right behind her. She ended up getting second.
Hmm.
I didn't even know they could turn it into a competition.
Dude, it's wild. Like they all start out like super super slow, like taking their time because they don't want to wear out because they do. I think they do up to like 15 laps or something.
Yeah.
But uh, and then the timer goes off or something, and then they all just start racing like crazy. But she, from the moment it went off, she just said screw it and was up like 5 laps ahead of everybody else, and just came back behind, just as slow as everybody else, and then ended up winning with like a lap left to go.
I bet it was like their Olympic trials or something like that.
It was
Or something
crazy.
pre-Olympics, because that's well, it's coming up in 2 years. The winter one is,
Yeah.
so I bet it's like the nationals. I think the year that the summer lands is when the winter nationals are going on. So I think it's
Probably.
probably So it's probably the tryout almost, whatever you call it. You can still win medals and stuff, but it's not Olympic. So that's probably what that is. But
It's a
yeah, no, I
wild
love speed
sport.
skating, so I know exactly what you're talking about. There's different events. There's some that are like 15 laps, but there's some that are just like a quarter of a lap, or one's like 1 lap. Like
Mhm.
there's
Yeah.
different, just like track. All it is track on ice.
Yeah.
You have your marathon ones and your sprint ones and shit.
Speed
It's just
skating is one of my favorites.
it's just not as long of a loop as track. It's a shorter little
Mhm.
zippity do. But no, I love that shit, dude. I can watch the heck out of that all day. I'm more of Winter Olympics than summer, but I am excited for the summer also.
Yeah.
So.
The crazy one that I think that the winner has is the skeleton luge.
Oh God, that's
Like,
insane.
how do you sign up to go head first,
No.
like going 100 miles an hour around a bank?
Like when we were kids, we had the bobsled. That was the craziest one. We're like, oh, that's insane. They can't get crazier than that. And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, let's bring out the luge.
Yeah.
Freaking, especially like the 2-man luge. You got like the one dude just like in the other dude's crotch, and the other guy's like,
Yep.
I'm like, are you even steering? It's just like body leans. Like at
Yeah.
least bobsleds had a little like, steering weird thing in there, steering ropes or whatever, and the brakes and shit. But like,
And that's still fun to watch too, right? Like I love when they run to get like the
yeah, and
4-man
get in.
sled. You're like, oh, and then they hop in, and oh, that cost them a fraction of a second.
Yeah, it all looks the same to me, but the announcer's like, they're screwed. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like,
Immediately they're done. They're done. It's over.
yeah, I'm like you, Brian. I was like, I can't tell any differences
Yeah, I
unless
mean, every once in a while I'll
obvious.
see one that's bad, but it has to be really,
Right.
really bad for me to know. I'm like, oh my God, why is he not in there yet? Like, but that's after watching him for 3 hours and watching everybody get in by like a certain line. And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
I see that line pass. I'm like, what is he doing? He's not in there yet. Portugal's screwed. I'm like, they're done.
It's funny though, like what you said with Olympic sports, you watch them, especially ones with like judging, like figure skating or gymnastics, those type of
Yeah.
sports where like the guys like, oh, that's gonna cost them. I'm like, why? It looks fine to me.
Yeah, cost them what?
Yeah, I'm like what do they do? Like, oh, her toe wasn't exactly pointed.
Yeah,
Like,
it was not pointed
okay,
in the right angle, so she is
yeah,
done.
yeah, this is crazy to me.
My random favorite sport though is that one where they ski like real far and then they pick up the guns and shoot.
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
what's going,
The
and then they
like the cross country like skeet shooting thing.
yeah, it's
yeah,
like cross country, but then you got to stop and you got to hit the target so many
Yeah.
times, and then you can go along and go ahead. And some of them are like the relay ones, so like you get to it and you hit yours, and your next guy can go. So I like that. I don't know. I think that's why I like winter better because I like the ones that are things I've never done before, and not that
yeah.
I've done any of them on a great level, but I've ran track in gym class, stuff like that. Like it's still cool to watch, but I've never bobsledded and probably never will. So I think that's where my intrigue comes in. But I do like the summer ones. I like the boat racing ones and such. They got like the sailboat racing and all that,
Yeah.
type of stuff. So, and then with the technology we have today, it's easier to follow. Back in like the 90s, they didn't have like the lines on the
Oh,
screen.
heck no.
So
Mhm.
it was just kind of like a free for all. I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. But now they have like they make lanes on the TV for you.
Well, it's
They
not
got
even
like,
like when you watch swimming, they have the world record line going. So you're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
they're gonna break the record. Or you see they're way behind the record. Like
Mhm.
stuff like that. Like for a fan viewing sports, Olympics or even other like football or whatever, and baseball and stuff, it's so much nicer because you can see the strike zone or you can see the lines or you can
Yeah.
see, all this stuff that helps us understand the sport, and especially with Olympics, since a lot of Olympic sports are also sports they're not necessarily popular in the U.S. Yes,
Mhm.
some are. I know some are, but like a lot of them are the ones. To me, I feel like the international countries are all like they're really big into speed skating in this country. Are really big into skiing in like Norway, and like
Yeah,
stuff
they're
like that.
into it more like month to month or week to week. Like they have kind of like we are into football or baseball. They're into it
Right.
seasonally, where like we literally only give a shit when it comes to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not watching casual like skiing or long jumping, but when it's like Olympic long jumping in the skis, I'm like, dude, you better not fuck this up for us.
You get your flag out,
Yeah, I'm
America.
like
Speaking of which, you
critiquing
got to
world
mention.
athletes, world class athletes. I'm like, you dumbass.
Yeah, as we sit on the
You
couch.
dumbass. I can't believe you couldn't exchange the whatever in track, whatever the thing's called.
Baton.
Now you forgot to mention an Olympic sport that I think we could do in the winter: curling.
Curling.
Yeah.
Yep. Apparently that's harder than it looks, though.
I'm sure it is. It
But
has
it
to
was
be.
originated as a drinking game. So if it originated as a drinking game, I think we could figure it out.
Yeah.
Give it hell.
But I think for me, it's not the dude that has to like push it. I think that's the easy job. It's the
Yeah. Yep.
and if you
I
look at
agree.
the angle that their calves and like legs are, like that has to burn. Doing that many times in a row and at that angle because it's like an all natural. So I feel like you got to be in decent shape to be the broom person.
Yeah, I agree because I feel like even with your arms, because you're trying to get whatever you're
Yeah,
doing.
imagine brushing, like cleaning your floors at a rapid pace, like mopping your floors wet, like going great, like that shit's gonna burn a little bit, dude.
My arms get tired just mopping regular.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, imagine doing that at hyper speed. Like, I think the guy that got so easy is the pusher. Like, yeah, let me just glide this old stone down there, and they can figure the rest out.
Do they rotate? I can't remember. I don't remember. Like, is it always a thrower and then the brushers,
I
or do
think
you
it's the
have to
same
rotate?
people. I think
Okay.
at least in the one that I remember, I think it's always like you got your own job.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't know if like because that makes sense, but I didn't know competition wise. They're like, nope, everyone has to do it.
I don't think so. I could be wrong because
Yeah,
you only watch it every 4 years.
exactly. That's why I was like, I have
Yeah.
hours.
But I think it's just everybody has their own job type of deal.
Okay, I remember. Is the guy you remember, the mustachio?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I follow them on Twitter, the
Oh, okay.
official team and shit. So
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. I don't know any of the Olympic athletes coming up though. I think it's still a little far out for us to start learning names and shit. But I
Yeah.
remember growing up the hype with like Michael Johnson when he was the track. He was like the fastest man in the
Mhm.
world and shit like that.
Yep.
Like that was always fun.
I think the only one that I like comes to mind for like since you brought up track was Shakari Richardson. Like that team. Well,
Uh,
her
Is that the
uh
chick one?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
She got
She's gonna dominate
she wasn't allowed to
everybody.
go last year because she got caught smoking weed
Yeah.
or
Like who
something
cares about
wild.
that these days?
Blew my
Like,
mind.
yeah.
But they when they were doing like their pre-trial, like her and I forget the other girls, but they destroyed Team Jamaica. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't even close.
Yeah. No, they're gonna do work this year, I think. The women are gonna dominate.
And the man, there's a I forget his name. There's a really good track guy that we're gonna have. Those goes back to like those old school guys that we used to have
Oh
before
yeah.
Team
Like the
Jamaica decided
Carl
to.
Lewis, Michael Johnson.
Yeah. So
the
it'd be
funny thing is, Snoop Dogg's we won the broadcasters for NBC for the Olympics this year.
He was hilarious last time, dude.
So yeah, so they'll have him on NBC now this time.
I liked when
yeah.
him and Kevin Hart were they were watching the equestrian. And he's like, oh man, that horse is doing a crip walk. Look at him. He's doing a crip walk.
Could you
Oh,
imagine putting Snoop Dogg with Mike Tirico?
Oh, it'd be
oh
good.
God.
Mike Tirico accidentally gets high.
Yeah. Or what's the other one? The Costas.
Oh yeah,
Bob
Bob.
Costas and Snoop.
He's like Mr. Olympic. You
Yeah.
just brought him up that he was doing it as long as I remember.
And he's always like so serious, I think. I think Chirico could get a little bit better along with Snoop because he's a jokester a little bit, but
Yeah.
Costas always seems Mr. Professional, like rah, 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 rah. That's why he does golf too, like golf, golf, golf.
Yeah. Yeah, because remember when he did NBA?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you like this, Brian, in particular. Mark, you may remember, but since you're younger, I don't know. But I was talking to someone that worked about NBA, and he's like our age, Brian. And I was like, remember NBA on NBC on Sundays? And then he starts going, bum, 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 bum.
That was the fire song. You knew it was
Yes, it
about to go
was.
down, dude, on a Saturday. You know, you got the Michael Jordan and the Bulls against Gary Payton and the Supersonics.
Bum, 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 from Chicago, Illinois.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if you
The
remember that
United
part.
Center.
I
Playoff
do remember
implication.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the person who should commentate every sport is Gus Johnson.
Oh, he's the GOAT, dude.
He should by far like could you
Yeah.
just imagine him commentating cross country skiing?
Oh my God. He used to do NCAA basketball.
Yeah,
Like, I watched some old recordings of it.
every single one.
Yeah. Yeah,
Maserati.
he's really good at it, dude. He gets you hyped.
I just
Yeah.
keep thinking of Maserati Marv. this past
Maserati.
season.
He's the one I was always like, J.K. Dobbins. I'm like, oh man, yeah, he's the GOAT, dude. And I like him with what's his sidekick is. Like it's a good combo. What's his name? I should remember it. I forget it off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't.
Dude's like the Kirk Herbstreit of Fox. Can't remember.
Yeah. I mean, they're the number one broadcast team on Fox, I would like to think, at least.
Yeah.
And Gus Johnson.
Yeah. But the combo between them both, I forget his damn name. I'll remember it in a second. But
You remember after the recording?
probably.
Do a separate video. Guess what, audience? I remember his name.
Breaking news. But,
Speaking of which, March Madness is around the corner.
mm-hmm.
So, what are you guys' thoughts? We didn't really have a good showing yesterday. It didn't help UC at all.
I think the Cats are gonna have to make a run in the Big 12 tourney to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at this point, even just beating Houston, I don't know if that one win will be enough.
Yeah.
Losing to like Oklahoma State type. So I think they really need to make a run in the Big 12. They don't have to win it all, but they have to win a few, and at least one that's like a signature. Like in best case scenario, is they beat Houston regular season and then get to play another Houston type. One of the top dogs.
Yeah.
One of the top and kind of pull an upset there again.
They
Well,
just see
Oklahoma State loss hurts more also because it was on our own home court, right?
Mhm.
It makes it even
Mhm.
worse.
They just seemed way too comfortable just shooting it from three yesterday. They seemed like they settled a lot.
Yeah, I don't, and that's the thing I don't like about, like, I love this team, but it's still the old stuff where we get stuck in these ruts where we can't score all of a sudden. And then the other team comes back and makes it interesting or even win. Like the game against UCF, we got up by what was it 14 in the second
Mhm.
half, and then all of a sudden we got cold on the offense, and it allows the other team to come back, even with how good our defense and rebounding is.
Yeah, it was weird. Like I know we always talk about how close their games are, but it gets to a point where they gotta get over the hump at some point. Like
Exactly.
losing by 3, 4 points every game was just, and they let the game go last night
Yeah.
completely, just way left. There were some questionable calls too. I mean, I'm not trying to be that fan, but that
Yeah.
one push foul just blew my mind.
Which foul?
The push off when Oklahoma State was driving, the guy was coming from half court. Forget who he pushed down, but they called him like a blocking foul on him. Like he took his forearm and just like literally shoved the guy out of bounds. Like sent him like 3 feet flying. It was wild.
Yeah, I don't understand some of the officiating in general with across all sports. I don't know. Um, but it doesn't matter, right? We still let
Yeah.
them come back, and it was at home, and I just don't know what the issue is besides what I just said is that we have these cold streaks, and we start slow. We typically start games slow too.
I think it's
That,
something new every game, and sometimes a combination of a couple. There's the turnovers, there's a start slow,
Mm-hmm.
there's the droughts. I think it's just a combination of you. And I don't know what happened to Frederick. He hasn't seemed to really come on since he's been back.
Yeah, I haven't
I think-
noticed anything crazy from him.
I don't think they may be easing them back into the rotation or something, but I mean they have the talent. I've heard some people calling for Wes Miller's job, which I think is ridiculous. He's
Yeah,
just
that's
now had a chance to build his team, and it's the first year in the Big 12, so I didn't expect him to be as good as they are.
me neither.
So like keeping games close and stuff. So I think you got to give every coach at least a graduating class, 4 years.
yeah.
Maybe that fifth year, then you have to, do something. At least make the tournament, win a game in it.
People are too quick to fire coaches across all sports these
Yeah,
days. You gotta let them get their program in place or their players in place or whatever, depending on the
yeah,
sport. Like, come on. And to go with what you're saying, Brian, even more so, it's ridiculous that they're calling for his job, that some people are, because of what you already hit on. Like, they're in the hardest conference in basketball. They are trying to get everything together. They had to deal with injuries, not to make excuses, but they're facts.
yeah,
And they still have a chance to make the big dance.
yeah.
And last year they weren't in it, remember? So
And honestly, put this team in almost any other conference, and they're guaranteed in because they probably have 25 wins,
mhm.
already, and they're probably going to be leading their conference. Outside of maybe ACC, SEC, and even there, I think they'd be much better. But I mean, put them back in old Conference USA, stuff like that. It's like,
Yeah.
the tournament committee doesn't. They kind of weigh in conferences enough, but then they kind of don't, And I get like if you win your conference, especially your conference tournament, you're automatically in.
Yeah.
But if you win your regular season conference, you're most likely in. But like whoever wins the Conference USA tournament this year is not better than UC. You know,
Right.
so that's the only thing. But I also like the underdogs in the Cinderella story. So I'm not saying take that away, but like now that we're in a big dog conference, it's kind of like you get a little more wanting your team to get some advantages from that. So, you
Yeah.
know,
I
you
agree with you.
know, you're going to be able to pick out 10, 12, maybe more teams that are like, all right, UC can beat all of them on any
Mhm.
day,
But I
but
think, like you said, the cool thing about the way it is now, even though it doesn't really help us in this case, is that you're awarded for winning your conference, regardless of if it's the big, excuse me, the Big East or the Mac. I don't know, something, right? Like, and
Yeah.
then you could create those Cinderella stories. But I like that college basketball one has the room to do that because they have 68 teams to
Yeah.
be like, all right, all conference winners, you're in, and just
I
then
still
try to.
count it as only 64 though.
Oh yeah, the
I don't
playing game
count the playing games. You're not in until you're in. That's why they call it a play-in. So
now. What like I think that's weird with the playing games because two of them are to play to be the 16 seed, but
yeah.
the other two is for like the 11, I believe.
Yeah.
Like that's weird to me, that part.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
so highly ranked. Yeah.
yeah, it's like,
I feel like
it's
all
like
four should just be 16 seeds trying to fight to get in, not,
Uh,
you know.
12 and 15 and 11.
Yeah.
yeah, that's just weird. And was it always that way, or was at the beginning was it 16s? I can't remember.
I think at the beginning there was only like
I think it was only
one
two.
playing game.
Yeah, they're like one or two.
I don't
I
remember.
think
Yeah, I think there weren't as many playing games at the beginning in my
I,
originally.
th- I think it was just two, and I think it was what you were saying, Brian, was two. It was 16. They were battling for the 16th seed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
But
think
then they
you're
expanded it and tried to get more. They probably didn't. It was a ratings grab, I'm sure, because
Yeah.
it was no one was watching the two teams trying to fight for the 16 seed.
right.
Even today, like ESPN still allows you not to pick those games as part of your bracket.
Yep.
So until they make you do that, I don't count. As long as like CBS or any of the internet, pretty much all the internet ones, like you can pick them, but they never make you as part of your bracket type of thing. So
Right.
until they make me do it, then I don't count it. As the real tournament. It's
And
just
I
an
don't think
extension of the conference tournament, in my opinion.
I could be wrong, but I don't even think those games are on Channel 12. I think it's like maybe on a CBS affiliate, but
Yeah, yeah, they're like True TV or some odd
yeah,
one or the other. I used to know them all because I had them on my favorites. When you can do favorites on them, like ding, 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 ding.
I
Mhm.
I remember you telling me that you did that set it up that way. He's like, I
Oh
just
yeah,
go
just so I could roll
through.
through real quick, like bing, 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 bing. You
You
know,
found a loophole.
yeah. Now I have so many devices. I have like one on my iPad, one on my phone, one on the big TV, one on the little TV. Like I'll cover the channels that way now. Yeah, but before it was just like bing, 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 bing. But yeah.
Did you guys see that the Chiefs signed that Matt Ariza punter?
Oh, I heard
Yeah, I
that
did
they
see
were
that.
bringing him in. I didn't know they signed him.
I think they said it was close,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird because I thought their punter was pretty good.
Yeah, but that dude was like the GOAT.
Yeah, he was
Like he
he
was
was
a
a man,
beast of
man.
a punter, dude. Like I don't know if he still got it, but I don't know if you just lose that by sitting around, but he was a beast.
Yeah, I would like to give him a shot for us.
Yeah.
Mm.
Uh,
Problem is, man, Bengals don't give up on their draft picks like that, even if it's a punter.
yeah,
I think we're gonna have to deal with one more full season.
Well, we did give up on Jake Elliott.
Yeah.
He
He,
lost. I
he
mean, he did lose his contest to Fat Randy, but
Yeah.
we didn't give up on him. He just lost. We decided to keep the veteran. So I don't really consider that an L. It was more of a stupid choice, right?
it was
But
an it was an L in week one when Randy missed the field goal and then he kicks a 60 yarder to win the game.
touche. Yep, touche.
And we're like, God damn it. And then had to deal with Fat Randy for it. And then I still remember that game when he missed the field goal and then he grabbed for his other leg that he missed the field goal with. Like he wasn't even the right leg.
Oh yeah, I
What
remember
are you
that.
doing?
Oh,
Yeah,
oh man. I don't know.
but I'm
Oh.
happy with the kicker we have now as far as place kicking.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
You got that consistency that you don't even have to worry about it.
yeah,
Like, oh, he's up. Got it. I'm gonna go get something to drink. It's fine.
Yeah.
Kicking
the
a
funny
50
the
order.
funny thing is his percentage is better the further out he is.
It's wild.
Yeah. I did get to watch my Daytona 500. My guy finished 10th, Briscoe. That's the guy I pull for now. Mainly because he's number 14 and that's Pete Rose, so
Oh, okay.
That's my philosophy behind that. I was like, my guy growing up was always Mark Martin. He's been retired, so like I never really found a driver from then. For the last couple of years, I've been trying to get back into it a little bit, even though I don't like it as much as they've changed a lot, like most sports do.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah,
didn't say fully ruin it, but not the same as it used to be.
my father-in-law, he's a Chase Elliott fan. Like he's a huge Chase Elliott fan.
Yeah,
He does not care what's going on. Like it could be a super close game and he'd be like, "Oh, NASCAR's on," and we'll literally change it like during like the most important part of the game just to see where he's at in the
yeah.
standings.
I didn't know he
Every
was in a
which way.
NASCAR like that. That's
Oh, he's
uh,
huge in the NASCAR.
yeah. I used to be big time. Like I said, they changed things, so I still try to catch it when I can. But they did have a weather delay, so it was on Monday. So I missed like I was off Sunday, so I could have watched all of it. But then they weather delayed it to Monday, so I missed. They do it in 3 stages now, so I missed like half of stage one, so not a lot.
Mm.
You know,
It's
basically like
like
catching what's that?
it's like laps, right? Like they count the stages by laps.
Yeah, they almost divided it into thirds, but it's not always works like that. But yeah,
And
there's so
like,
many laps in each
is it
stage.
based off points too? Like you get certain amount of points per
Yeah, like if
stage.
you win stage one, you'll get some points. That goes into the championship because the championship you got to have so many points to get into the tournament at the end of the season, basically. Yeah, so there's only certain ones that they'll still have a full. Everybody will still race, but there'll be
Mm-hmm.
like 10 of them that their race doesn't mean shit minus practice or screwing up somebody else's day, basically. So it's not really. They're still out there, but they're not in the playoff hunt. So yeah, you got to get so many points, and you know where you finish gives you points, and where you finish overall gives you points. So, but I think to get stage points, you have to be in like the top three, something like that. But then overall, at the end, you can be. I think it's more than that. I don't want to say what because I don't remember, but I feel like it's more than just the top three get points for where they finish. But again, I'm not as good on the rules as I used to be because they've changed them over the years. So, and there was a good few years that I wanted to watch it but couldn't just due to work. So I could never really get into it.
He always tries to tell me, and I can never pick it up. I just like, all
Yeah,
right, you just tell me what's happening.
yeah. But
How
basically,
is
your goal is to win as
Jeff
many stages as you can, and obviously overall the race, because that's how you get the most points is winning overall the race. So
How Jeff
Turn
Gordon
left.
do?
he's not there anymore.
Oh, dang it. I don't know anything.
he's gone.
I don't know
He's gone.
anything.
Yeah, you probably don't know any of the drivers left now. They've
Yeah,
reset so
I
much.
do. I didn't recognize the guy you said, but
Yeah, he's not. He's the other Chase. He's Chase Briscoe, so he's the other, not the Chase Elliott. But like I said, I picked him just off his number. Like, and he seemed like a decent dude. So
that
he's from
works.
Indiana, so you guys should love him.
Touche, touche.
Yeah, he is from Indiana, so semi-local too. But I don't know, it's fun to watch. But I like the Daytona. It's their big event, even though it's so weird that their big event's the first one of the season.
First one of the year.
Yeah, first race of the year is their biggest event. So I don't know.
I always thought it was Talladega was always their big one.
That's a big one.
When I
That's
was
another
younger,
big one. But I think Daytona's always been there. That's like their Masters.
their
That's
Super Bowl.
yeah,
Kentucky
that's their
Derby.
yeah. There's more just around it. Yeah, it's like the Kentucky Derby. It's just it's the big huzzah. But you really, like I said, Talladega is another big one. There's a few big ones throughout the year, and then they've added in road courses, which is kind of weird. I don't know if I like that or don't like that. Though Briscoe's really good at them, so I should like that. But it's just not, it's interesting to throw in there, but I think they've done it too much. They used to only have like one or two. Now I feel like they have like 3 or 4 a year.
How's that work?
It's the same rules. It's just not in an oval,
Yeah.
so they just make it like loop-de-doop.
You gotta get a little bit more creative.
Yeah, so it's not as much just based on speed. It's based on how well you can actually drive,
Okay.
and a lot more wrecks because of it and shit like that. So it's
You gotta do more than turn left.
Ooh,
Yep.
oh,
What do you
Matt
Matt,
out of
you're here.
nowhere.
Where are you?
Jesus Christ, dude.
What?
iPhone.
Don't worry about where I'm at. Just worry that I'm here.
I don't care where you're at. I know
Yeah.
where you've been the last 2 weeks, continuously flicking your bean to shirtless Usher's halftime show.
Oh my God, get over yourself. That was it. awesome halftime show.
I'm sure you
If
love
you
when he
look
took
at-
his shirt off and his little hard nips are out there, you weirdo.
No, there were throwbacks. There was Alicia Keys in some fire red skin tight suit. Alicia Keys is banging. And then you had throwbacks to Ludacris and Lil Jon. It was great. It was great. Roller skates. I mean, what more do you want? It was like Western Rollerama come to life.
Western Rollerama.
Shout
Wow.
out.
That's the leg that you want to stand on. You're comparing the Super Bowl
Western.
halftime to the Western Rollerama.
A
I
building
mean,
that
it's
not
gonna-
even exists. It's gone.
It's gonna appeal to you white people more.
No, it's not.
No, it's not at
Not even a
all.
little bit.
All right, sorry. Well,
I
forgive
don't
me
watch
for trying to
halftime
bridge
shows
the
at
gap.
all.
I did like that. Did you guys see the meme of they were making fun of Ludacris and Little John's outfits? They're like, this looks really familiar, and it's the dodgeball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dodgeball. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I knew that looked familiar.
Accurate.
Speaking of Super Bowl, though, I am the now three-peat champion of the playoff fantasy. I thought it was only back-to-back till I researched further and kind of scrolled down through our Facebook history, and I was like, oh, I did win 2 years ago. So I've won 3 years in a row. I know
Well,
Greg
this was a
tried to bring
good
in the Large
episode.
brothers to knock me out, but the whole mafia couldn't do it. They couldn't
I
take
needed
me
to-
out at the knees. I still persevered and won it all.
I didn't have much hope. I mean, I had Moody, and then my other guy was Noah Gray. It took a long cut on that one, and that one did not pay off at all.
Yeah. Once my kickers start going, dude, I knew I was like,
Yeah.
let's fucking go. So I knew once he started rolling, I was like, all right, I got it now. This is good stuff.
So I was like, oh, I got a chance, and I was just like, nope. He's just kicking field goals, just like left and right, and the guy doesn't miss.
And I will say, I know people probably think it's because of my arrogance, but I posted the final numbers to Facebook just for historical reasons, not because I'm being a douche.
That's what I
For
figured
once.
you did.
Because I was scrolling back, there were a couple years that we just didn't for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. We probably knew who won in the text, and you just didn't go and copy and paste it.
Yeah.
Nothing big, no big deal, but just I enjoy nerdy stuff like that.
Yeah, I do too. And when I saw you did it, I was like, I think that crossed my mind because I think what happened was you said that you won 3 years in a row, and I was like, oh yeah, that's how you know though.
Yeah, that's how I knew because I couldn't remember. I didn't remember I won last year until Brad started talking shit, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure I won last year. So I looked at that one, and that's when I started talking shit to him about that, and started talking about the two-peat, the back-to-back, and I was like, I wonder who won the year before. So I scrolled, and I was like, son of a bitch, it was me.
Yeah, I didn't remember
I was
that.
like, son of a
Real.
bitch. Yeah, I didn't remember that one at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the Bengals one too. So
Yeah.
that's probably why.
Yeah, so I was like all kinds of flustered.
Yeah, and now we have to deal with the Chiefs winning it again.
Yeah, thanks to Matt.
Yeah.
No,
thanks,
what
man.
the fuck ever.
Matt's fault.
No.
When in doubt,
Also,
blame
did-
Matt.
Did you hear about fucking the Chiefs signing the punt god?
We already talked about that. You would know if you're on time.
No. All right. Well, I'll just let that be my last contribution to the podcast of this week.
We're like, yeah, we talked about that already.
We
We're
covered
late to the
almost
show.
everything. I told you we'd be about done by the time you rolled in.
All right. Well, if that's the case, so be it. But I still think if Juwan Jennings was Christian McCaffrey and he threw it to Deebo Samuel, I would have won the fucking fantasy thing. But no, Brian's got to have his fucking kicker and Brock Purdy throwing bullshit to not my players.
So Brockington of San Francisco.
Yeah, Brock Lobster. Brock
They're
Lobster
Brockington.
for next year in the fantasy league.
No, he sucks regular season. He's a playoff kind of guy.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
But no, yeah. My strategy is always to just get a quarterback that I think is going to make the Super Bowl early, preferably first round, and then I try to find a kicker that can also make the Super Bowl, and that's pretty much after that. That's my only strategy. I have nothing else.
Yeah.
I used to try to get as many players on one team as I could, but I found that to be too difficult, so I stopped doing that and kind of just went maybe more of a best player available, or I don't know. You kind of roll with it because it goes so fast.
Well, that strategy that you said that you used to do usually gets blown up. very early because
Yeah,
Mhm.
because everybody's picking from the same team or same two
Yeah.
teams. So, but it is crucial to have those players left in the Super Bowl because of the double points and all that.
Yeah.
And one
Yeah, that's
suggestion I'd say, I meant to say this offline, but we may as well just throw it out here, is we might be at the point where you might want to give more points for 60-plus field goal
right.
as well. Because
I'm fine with that.
I understand why we didn't have it because kickers weren't getting that close, but now it's like shit. They're starting to get more consistent from 60-plus, so we might want to up, because I know it's basically 50-plus is all the same points. So
Yeah.
just a suggestion. You do what you do, but I'm just throwing it out there because I feel like we're getting close to that.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with it as long like you said, if everyone's cool with it, why not? I just need to
Yeah.
remember next year by the time next year rolls around. So I'm
Mhm.
counting on you guys to help me.
Yeah, that's part of it too. But I was just thinking that because I was getting close to some 60-yarders. I was like, if I lose because I don't have extra points for kicking 60-plus, and
Yeah.
ragtag Mark over here had a 51-yarder and somehow wins.
Hell, I'm even fine with making it where, 60 to 69 is 6, 70 to 79, because those aren't going to happen. If
No,
they,
70's not gonna, but
but
you
if
may
we
as well
can
get
make
ahead
worth
of it.
7, yeah,
Yeah,
80's worth 8, I don't care.
yeah,
100's worth $1 billion, fine.
yeah. If you get 100, dude, you should just automatically win no matter who you are,
Exactly.
unless it's Antoine. Because hell with Antoine, I'm glad he finished in the dirt again.
He will be the one to get like the kicker that, for some reason,
Oh yeah,
they're going for it from in their own end zone.
yeah. Just old steroid like Janikowski or something comes back from the dead.
Or they convert Matt Ariza to kicker. He kicks it from fucking 80 yards.
In a game.
Yeah. I mean, he could do it.
In a game,
You don't think he could do it?
no, not if I see it. In a game,
I mean, nobody thought anybody could punt the ball 80 yards, and he did it. I
yeah,
think he could convert into a kicker, and
I mean, he
Push
was a
back.
kicker in college, but I mean, to go what you said, no one thought anybody could kick it 80 yards. I think any punter is relatively has any given chance to punt a ball 80 yards.
And was it
given
80
how
on a
tall
fly,
it is.
or was it 80 with a roll?
no, it's 80 on a fly. He kicked it.
Yeah, he's got a cannon.
I need you to send the tape to the group message, please.
Google that shit.
No,
There's
I
the
need
fucking
you.
internet, Brian.
You're
You're
the
the only
one on the
one
high
doubting
horse,
it.
so I need you to send me the link. Or
Why would I make that
or it
up?
didn't
Why
happen.
would I make it up that this guy can kick the ball 80 yards?
You
in
make
the
things
air?
up all the time, Matt.
No, I
You made up the
don't.
fact that you were gonna win. That didn't
Oh
happen.
my god. You make up shit all the time like Chase Young
I've
is
never.
good when he
He
had
is
one
good.
good game. No,
You
he's
see him?
not.
If they would have
Trash.
won, he would have been Super Bowl MVP. Easy
No.
money.
You
If
also
they
Easy
would have
money.
won.
he
He
If
also
won the
they
most
made
would've
valuable
won,
player.
but
They'd
he's
have
a
erected the
fucking
statue
loser.
right out of San Francisco.
he also made up
Loser.
that he'll be on here at 7:30.
Yeah,
Did make
that was
that
made up.
Whatever. I don't need this bullshit.
I don't
need to be attacked.
I don't believe he can kick an 80-yard field goal in a game.
I don't think he can get any. I just looked it up on YouTube. He did do an 82-yard punt in the NFL
On the fly.
on the fly. It was in the Bills game when he was.
Well, I'll believe it when Matt grabs that link and sends it to us.
I think Matt has a poster of this guy with Usher next to his
Yeah.
Usher poster at home.
Just double flicking the bean.
He's quiet.
Yeah, he's not saying
Just
much.
live your life. Live your life.
Mark your eyes. Oh,
Shit.
but
Don't worry, man. I did your job for you.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, I got it.
You can pick up the slack for me for 1 week.
he does it. He's done it his whole life, from what I understand.
Who, Mark?
Yeah.
Yep, that's how,
Fuck out of here.
the information I've been given by Miss Patty Lawrence when we've had our talks at work when she worked for us.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
That's
man,
a
if,
shaded
you know,
source.
if Matt was
Shaded
half the man
source.
Mark was, well, I'd have the perfect son.
I know why Matt is not showing his face on camera. He had
Why?
a cap with his beard.
I know he's Mr. Mustache now.
And it is the worst mustache of all time.
That's right.
That is harsh. That is harsh
I did
criticism.
see.
I've gotten very good feedback on my mustache. I'll thank you.
From
And
what,
it's only
Super
for a
Trooper
week.
fans?
Oh, dude, it's like beyond Farva.
You're like a state highway patrolman.
It's like Reno
Barely.
911 mustache. band.
Reno 911.
Is Matt just
You know what?
new boot scooting?
You know what? I don't even know why I came on this week. I'm just gonna bounce. You guys can talk shit about me, and I'll see you next week.
Where you going?
Oh, he left. He actually left. Oh no.
Wow, I thought he was
Wow.
joking.
We. I didn't think that would ever happen. We got him.
Yeah, I thought Matt was more the cool, relaxed.
Oh shit.
Oh, that was unintentional. We didn't mean to make him quit. He rage quit. We'll be nice to him next week.
Yeah.
No, we won't.
All right. What else do we got going on? They say baseball's coming up. Oh, FC. When does FC start?
Yeah, I was going to say, after you bring that up, FC's first game's tonight against Cavalier FC.
Oh, is it tonight? Is it regular season already? Or is it like a pregame?
It's the CACAF Champions Cup.
Oh, yeah. So it's like a little tournament kind of thingy.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think those count towards regular season records, but it counts for the team and prestige in other ways.
Yeah, I understand from MLS, like you can get different hardware throughout the season for these cups and stuff.
Yeah, but they actually take prestige into it, kind of like NCAA basketball, where they had like the Great Alaskan Shootout and the Maui Invitational. Like they still mean something to, except college basketball also counts towards regular season record. But like no, I get it. I kind of like that that's one thing I do like about soccer. It's like little in-season tournaments like that have more prestige, not like the NBA's random one.
Yeah. So they start tonight, 9:00.
Yeah, because I know a lot of the MLS ones, they do like international ones, like versus teams that aren't in the MLS, or also like other American leagues. Like I think there's another random American league that gets involved.
Well,
it's the minor league one.
The team that we play tonight is some international team. I want to say Italy for some reason.
Yeah,
but could be
wrong. I think it'd be cool if the NBA's like in-season tournament included like Italy's national team or something random.
Yeah,
like I know it'd be hard to do with having some of their best players on teams,
NBA teams,
but still do something like that. But I like international events though.
I like international basketball, by the way. Not to be random, but like one of the things I like about international basketball is when the ball's above the cylinder, you can still swat it away.
Yeah, there's not that goal.
That's the rule I like.
Yep. Oh man, yeah, we got FC, got the Reds coming up. I haven't been to an FC game yet. I'd like to go to one of those. We might want to.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, we should go to one of those sometime.
Yeah, I'm down.
Do a live podcast from FC.
From the Bailey.
The Bailey, like, ah!
Mark streaking on the field.
Caught me
again. No. Oh man. Only if there's a prop bet for it then. Like, will someone streak at the FC game? Yes, it's gonna be Mark. And we're gonna split the funds.
Matt will have the over-under for us on that.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
How many security guards will it take to tackle Mark?
Well, I would suggest him being greased up. Crisco. Full Crisco, because it'll be harder then. They'll think they got him and just
slide right off.
Yeah, and he just
It reminds me of Family Guy.
That's what I was gonna say, like the Family Guy, like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh man.
Yeah, they're fun though. What to try to get to the game this year?
Yeah, because I haven't been to that. I want to go to that for sure. But going to some Reds games this year, that's gonna be clutch.
Yes, it is. Looking forward to it.
If you didn't realize, Mark, Greg and I bought a 13-game Saturday package.
Nice.
So it's considered season ticket holder, so we get bonuses for it.
Yep.
Like they already gave us the MLB TV for free for the year.
Did you set yours up yet?
No, not
Me
yet.
neither.
Not yet. I probably will I think I'm off Sunday. I might just do it then.
Okay.
I kind of saw it late in the day, and I was, didn't feel like messing with it.
Yeah.
So
That's
even though
cool.
it won't be hard for me because I already have an account and shit, so I just got to go in and hit accept or whatever. But
Yeah.
Lazy.
Yeah, I understand that because I'm not going to touch it for a while.
Yeah.
But it's
I mean,
cool.
I
Like,
might just do it just to catch some spring training games, but
yeah, it's cool that you get these perks though. Like,
yeah.
I've learned that with the Bengals. Like, they'll do what, like 2 years ago with the Bengals, I got the NFL Prime for free that year.
Yeah.
And but the events too, like I was texting you about earlier, Brian, like I think it'd be sweet, like if they do where we can go on the field or tour the stadium or something.
Mhm.
I'm sure they do though. So don't be surprised. Basically, keep your eye on the email. It's my suggestion.
Yeah. And just see
And then
what's coming up.
if I see something, I'll text you, or if you beat me to it, just text me so we can be, because I want to do that stuff. So like, if it's like the Bengals where it's during the week sometimes, I'll just
Mhm.
take some time off work.
Yeah, and I have a fluid schedule, so I can kind of take a Wednesday off or something if I need to.
Okay, cool.
So
I'm excited.
yeah, yep. And they should be good this year, so hopefully.
Yeah, I heard someone say, or I read it somewhere, that this Reds team is, they predict that they're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to be like the early 2010 Reds teams, but better and younger. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I get on board with that because we
They're
get
already,
did for playoff tickets too in the World Series as
Yeah,
season
I'll
ticket.
definitely be all over all of them. At
Yeah,
least a couple games, maybe not the whole series, but like,
at least one, at least.
yeah. And I'll try to get for World Series. I might spring for like Game 7 and just see if it gets there. If we're the home team for that,
Right.
like spring for like an elimination game that we would
Yeah.
host, because that'd be like the best one to go to, right?
Yeah. That'd be
So,
wild.
but
they said
I'd pay for that at this point in my life. So
they said that Nolan Marte is almost guaranteed to get the NL Rookie of the Year.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Cool.
oh, what do you think about the jerseys?
That's kidding. The what?
The shitty jerseys they have now. Did you hear about all that jazz?
Oh, they're
Huh?
terrible.
Yeah, they've ruined them basically. Like they're shit jerseys.
Really?
Yeah, like even the real ones. Like dude, showed like there was a player that like showed where he's like number 10 and the one was above the 0, like it wasn't level. And they do, instead of having like more of a straight across last name thing, they do like the curve if you're
And
for all the players, like
Yeah.
so like De
yeah,
La Cruz is real like just silly goose.
the players were posting their jerseys from last year and the ones that this year, and like it's pretty eye opening.
No. Even the pants, like the uniform pants, like are almost see through.
Yeah, they look very knocked off.
Yeah. But I guess it's part of the collab with what, like Nike and Fanatics or something like that.
I think too they were trying to make them more breathable too
Yeah.
for whatever reason, but it literally looks like you were getting a jersey from overseas and it came the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like a
I don't know.
wish.com or a Temu type jersey.
Yeah.
Like not even a legit website. Like, yeah. Like you
So,
hope for the best because you only paid $10 for it,
was George Costanza ever working in the front office with the
I don't
Reds
know.
now?
It's but they're bad jerseys. So that's gonna. I bet they'll have some new ones by like mid-season or some shit.
I hope so because I
Like I
don't like
bet they're throwing enough stink about it. So that's another thing to make MLB look like a joke when. But,
right.
but yeah, I don't know. That's about all I have for this week. We're kind of in a slow week
Yeah.
transitioning. So
Yeah. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
all right, I guess we can just wrap it up. Maybe we'll get Matt back next week.
He said he's gonna come back next
Right.
week in the
We'll see.
text.
Right. I guess since he's not here, go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.